It's a great, big, beautiful Wednesday, fangirls and fanboys, and have we got a show for you. Corrigan Vaughn at your service, along with the one and only Kristin Latterell. Today we're also joined by our official Cumberbatch correspondent, Lauren Evans. Obviously, we're going to talk about news of the Cumberbaby good old Ben is cooking up with his fiancée. We'll look at a couple of movie trailers, including the latest Age of Ultron spot. We've got a ton of tidbits for this week's Pratt Corner. We watched a Sia video with Shia LaBeouf, so we're going to grapple with that. And our adorable, life-affirming thing of the week comes in the form of a delightful music video featuring your grandpa and mine, Sir Ian McKellen. He is a sir, right?
Yes, he is.
And I was just thinking about having him as a grandpa.
Wouldn't that be the most
I suddenly feel like my life will always be incomplete now.
Right, I'm sorry.
He's not my grandpa.
Yeah.
I just think he'd go really well with my TV dad, Scott Bakula.
He would. I think so. And don't you have a TV uncle now? Didn't we? Or maybe we gave you another grandpa.
Wait, who was it? No, it was a TV uncle.
Yeah, I think.
Shoot.
Oh, we're going to have to think on this, because we have assigned it.
It was really good, too.
It was. It was amazing.
And we were like, if they were together, it would blow up the universe.
Right.
I just realized it's a lot less creepy to have, TV grandpas and TV uncles than it is to have TV boyfriends, which is what I like.
Oh, we have those, too.
We have those, too, but...
But, we try to put the whole family together. And I actually don't know if that's less creepy, but, this week, you guys... The Golden Globes were on.
They were on.
Did either of you watch them?
No.
Just clips?
I did what any other modern person does, which is I wait until it's been gift, and then I watch those.
There you go, yeah. The Tumblr version, the Tumblr highlights.
I just watched the opening monologue.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, we all need to see Amy and Tina do their thing. That's
true.
And they were delightful. So.
Yeah,
I almost watched the Golden Globes just because I really like them, but...
Yeah.
I thought you meant...
couldn't handle sitting through an award show.
For a second, I thought you meant because you really like the Golden Globes. I was like, well, if you really like the Golden Globes, why didn't you watch them?
Amy and Tina. I like them.
That makes sense. And there wasn't enough Amy and Tina in it. I think the whole thing ended up... They didn't cut people off in their speeches for, the first half of the show. So the speeches were really long. And then the end of it, here, the TV couldn't even keep up. So they just, didn't even show the part where they said, and the nominees for Best Picture or whatever are, it was just all of a sudden they were in the middle of the speech. And we were like, oh, so I guess Boyhood won? Or whatever it was.
Is that who those guys are?
Yeah, trying to piece it together by who's on stage.
Yeah. You gotta give them a break, though. This is only the first or second time there's ever been a Golden Globes. So,
yeah. They're getting the hang of it. Yeah, it's a real new thing. The real star of the Golden Globes for me, Gina from Jane the Virgin, who is amazing.
Yeah. Gina Rodriguez. She is just delightful.
She is.
Lauren, do you watch Jane the Virgin?
I don't.
Lauren,
okay, you need to, because
board.
It's freaking the most wonderful television show in the history of time, and I'm obsessed with it now.
It is. I'm so glad you're with me on this now, Kristin.
Well, so I wanted to start watching, and then I just missed it, and then by then I was too far gone. I'm like, whatever. I just won't watch this one. Whatever. I was watching too many other things. But then I kept hearing about it. Every time I saw her anywhere, she's wonderful.
She is.
And then I heard her Golden Globe speech. I'm like, F it. I'm just going to go to YouTube and try. It was the first 3 episodes weren't on Hulu because they'd expired, So I'm like, I just got to find these 3 in crappy quality somewhere, get caught up. And now I'm powering through it. I mean, there's only 9 episodes. But you guys, it's totally worth it. Because the show, first of all, is bananas.
Right. It's crazy, just over the top. Everything happens.
Yeah.
Everything happens.
And it's all interconnected, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Connected.
Yeah, like this.
That's exactly what it's like. Oh my gosh. And the best thing, too, is this narration, too. Because it's a remake of a telenovela, right?
I thought it was just not a spoof, but... based on being... I thought it just was supposed to be like a telenovela.
Oh, I think it actually is.
I'm already sold. That's all I need.
This was the magic word all along.
I would have loved it.
You don't understand. I had a very dramatic life in college, and my good friend in college used to joke that I lived the life of a telenovela.
See? You should totally watch this show then.
So she said that I should always wear a red tango dress and run into a room and go, "No, Armando, ¿por qué?"
I love it. This is right up your alley.
Yeah, then you would love it.
That's all I needed to hear. I am sold, and I will be looking this up.
Okay.
And it's like each episode you get little bits of how everything is interconnected. So you start with a few things that you're like, oh, you know, okay, I see how these intertwine. And then it just gets more and more crazy. And the storylines that come in are insane. And this voiceover is perfect at telling you what's going on. But it's also got this sort of like, this is where the meta commentary on telenovelas comes in, I guess, because it's always commenting on how crazy things are, or the thing that you're skeptical about. It's pointing it out and being like, yeah, that's crazy, you know?
And the captions that get typed up on the screen are like, it's amazing. But what's interesting about it is like, yes, it's over the top and like the plot lines are crazy, but at the same time, it's also it like also feels very real.
Yeah.
And I think that lends to why she won the Golden Globe, because as I'm watching, I'm thinking, okay, yes, this is like a ridiculous situation and also kind of a fear of mine. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what if
this is
that
everybody's
happens?
worst fear. Yeah.
But beyond that, I'm like, but I also believe her in this situation. Like the way that she sorts through it, the cast of characters that are in her life. I'm like, but usually you're watching a soap opera like this would never happen, whatever, it's fun and mindless. I'm like, I almost feel like this might happen because this also feels really real at the same time. And so it's a little disconcerting. So I'm like, I know that would be terrible if that happened, you know?
Yeah. They do an amazing job with it. The cast is great.
That leaves you with a lot more fears than you had walking in.
I'm
just a little bit worried I'm going to go to the gynecologist and she's going to artificially inseminate me on accident. Is really what's worried about it.
I'm sorry, what? Now I'm afraid of that.
Yeah, that's the premise of this show.
That's the premise of this is a show. She's a virgin and she accidentally gets artificially inseminated.
Yeah.
And then shenanigans ensue.
And it's
you gotta watch it, Lauren. See, look,
the best part though is
no, I really have to. There is no
Kristin, have you
I've got a million things that I have to do in the next couple of days because I'm going to Harry Potter World this Saturday.
Oh my god!
Which I've had to wait until somebody that I knew came to visit me because I've been living in Florida like 45 minutes from Orlando for over a year now. But you can't go to Harry Potter World by yourself when you're obsessed with Harry Potter because then you just become the creep that goes, oh my god, I'm in a Harry Potter World.
Yeah. In fairness, I might do it. If I had no one else to go, I'd probably do it.
If I thought, but I'm grateful one of my really, really good friends, Liz, is coming.
Nice.
And so we're just going to be freaks together, and it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, man, I'm so jealous. They're bringing one here, the Harry Potter World thing, to this Universal Studios, but I don't know how long it'll be till that. They are doing, because I have an annual pass to Universal Studios, and they are doing a ton of construction in there, so I'm just hoping that they're going to, like, tear off all that scaffolding and all the fences and everything, and all of a sudden it's going to be Hogwarts.
It'll be like magic. It'll be like, oh gosh, this scaffolding's so ugly, and they're like, what?
I'm very excited about reliving
this. This way comes. The toads.
Yep.
It's like my favorite part.
I love you, Kristin. Please always sing, always.
Oh, she does. She doesn't need any encouragement.
I was in choir in 5th grade and I had a solo, so I'm like pretty good.
Whoa!
I mean, I don't want to brag.
What song was it? It was like Catch a Falling Star.
It wasn't. It was there goes the baker with his tray like always. The same old bread and rolls to sell.
Well done.
Was that the whole thing?
Yeah, well, me and Stacey Lai passed off, so then I sang that, and then she sang the next part, and then the whole choir came in from behind us.
I'm so impressed.
Yes, I know. Stop, you guys, stop. I know. Keep going.
I even recognized what you were singing, so we're going to say that's a win. Since,
I brought that up for the whole point because I got a crazy thing going on this week and I've got a lot of stuff to get done before that happens, but I feel like I'm going to carve time out for this show now because it's going to be worth, I'm going to put my job on hold is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision as a business decision, as a human being. I think you're going to feel good about it.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, Kristin, have you gotten to Rogelio yet as a character?
Yeah. I have, and he is amazing and wonderful and ridiculous, and oh my god, it's amazing.
And just, Lauren, I'm so excited for you to experience this.
Yeah,
because it's glorious.
Yeah,
but let's move on to why we've called you here in the first place.
Heck yeah!
There is a Cumberbaby on the way. Tell us about that.
Babies. There is a
Tell us the
Cumberbaby.
news.
So it was at it was the Palm Springs Film Festival, where Benedict and Sophie show up on the red carpet. And Sophie, who has impeccable taste in dresses that always have pockets.
Oh my gosh.
She is brilliant. The wisest of us all, because all of her dresses have pockets.
Yeah, she's clearly ready to be a mom. If she's she's at that point.
She's winning on all levels in life.
Oh my gosh, when they showed her at Golden Globes, I was like, oh, you're a vision.
She is. And that dress had pockets too.
Mm-hmm.
No.
That woman.
She's smarter than all of us. So she shows up on the red carpet, and rumors start to fly because she's wearing one of those dresses that the waist it makes a waif look like they're 4 monit's pregnant, you know, because it's the waistline is like right below your belly button, you know. It's not my favorite style choice, but I also make horrible style choices, so I don't really have any room to make any judgment on her, who actually is pretty impeccably dressed all the time.
Yeah.
But so she looked pregnant in it, and so all the rumors start to fly, and so everyone is pretending the rumors aren't happening, and they're saying, you know, like, there's the Tumblr investigation where there's a video from, or there's a, you know, like there's Fox News from one end, and there's a picture from this angle, and she looks pregnant in this angle, and it looks totally flat in this angle, and then someone did a picture of Benedict Cumberbatch, because at one point in the way that he was standing, his shirt was poofing forward. And they're like, well, maybe if Sophie's pregnant, well, maybe Benedict is pregnant. Their outfits are doing the same thing.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So, actually, to be fair, I was sort of in the camp of, dude, it's just the dress.
Right.
And even if it's not, it's none of your freaking business. Yeah. Because their lives are allowed to be
their
you know.
They've kept pretty private for a very long time.
That's why I think that when the Cumberbatchlet is born, we're not going to see pictures for ages, which I don't think we're going to get pictures of Benedict Cumberbatch holding cute babies of his own.
No. Probably
but at the same time, as much as that makes me very sad, because, you know, that's going to be a vision of adorableness that is not comparable to anything. I'm trying to think of anything that might be cuter than that. I've got, like, you know, tiny piglets playing with bunnies, and it's still not
it's
cute.
Still not there. It's not there. I can't top it.
There's just something about a man who really wants a family holding a baby. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, there's and it's interesting. So there's this huge furor online whether or not she was pregnant, and the people that tend to not be crazy online, because they do exist, and I try and be one of them.
Yeah,
we're in the she's not pregnant and can we just drop it? You know, we'll know when we know. And so those tend to be the Cumber cookies, the Cumber collective members that are above the age of 20.
Cumber cookies. Now that one is new to me.
For a batch.
Oh.
See?
Yep.
It's fun.
That is a good one.
I see it now. Okay.
Gotcha. Tracking.
I like Cumber collectives, actually.
I wish it were like Cumber muffins, though. Like, you make a batch of muffins, right?
That's true.
That's true. No, because then you start getting into like muffin tops.
Okay. Okay. I can see it. Never mind.
Cumber cupcakes.
Cumber cupcakes.
Which are like muffins, but with frosting.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm sorry. We have a lot of feelings about this.
Even though Benedict Cumberbatch hates the term, I like the original term for that. Saying because this is a family-friendly channel. But if I have my way, that is actually my preferred term.
Yeah.
Anyway, the folks that were kind of calmer about it tend to be not all the ways, but tend to be in the older age bracket.
Right. Of course.
Those of us who have had our time of ridiculous speculations. We have just grown out of them because we've grown. The problem with Kristin having known me since I was like 8 is that she witnessed all the awkward stages of fandom.
I'm sure she was right there
see her
with
in this,
you.
Like, more, I know you're trying to put yourself in the like mature category of like, oh, we don't really care so much. I'm like, okay, Lauren.
Oh, please.
Whatever you say.
Girl at all.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
I know. And I'm going to have to throw you under the bus, Lauren, because last night, Corey I asked Lauren if she would come be on the show this morning, and she was giving me really short answers, and I'm like, okay, do you maybe not want to do it? Like, I'm sorry, are you busy? And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm really distracted right now. I'm reading a really good fanfic. Like,
this is probably the best reason possible that someone could be less than enthusiastic. I'm going to give you for like giving me these really short, weird answers. I'm like, okay, I'll allow it this one time. Like,
I have to tell you, I spent a couple of minutes trying to come up with a convincing lie.
Oh, never do it. Never do it.
I decided that honesty would be the best accepted policy here because you would understand.
I would.
Of course, then you get Kristin outing you for it on the podcast. So
you know what? She has a Sherlock poster and a Doctor Who cutout. I feel like, and she showed us her Hobbit necklace.
Actually, you can't see. There's. You can't maybe see him very well, but I have a Hobbit bobblehead too.
I can't see that at all, but I trust that it exists.
Yeah, and it made me mad because it gave him brown eyes when Martin Freeman has blue eyes. So
my gosh,
yeah, I almost went back.
Very dare they?
You should send it back, is what you should. Quality control. Hey, one time I got a map that was wrong in the mail, and I 100% wrote a letter, and they gave me my money back.
Yeah,
so.
And it was hilarious too because it was one of those things that like it wasn't like, oh, Africa's in the wrong place, something like that. Like this was a map of what was it, battles or something like that.
It was a map of the Battle of Gettysburg.
Right,
and
who would notice?
Devil's Den in the wrong place.
Yeah, and she noticed.
Of course she did.
I was livid.
Of course she knew.
I'll tell you why I
not
knew.
At all.
You guys, here's the thing. First of all, I know what happened to this map company. I know they printed the map and went, crap, this is wrong. No one's gonna notice. I know that's what happened because when I wrote to them, they did not put up a stink at all. They're like, that's no problem. You don't even have to send it back. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with it? Of course I want to send it back to you. I'm not gonna keep it.
Because everything that is true in my home.
We'll just refund your money, you know? So I give them that. But I'm like, here's the thing, map people. If someone is purchasing a Battle of Gettysburg map, they clearly know something about the Battle of Gettysburg. So you should probably make sure it's right because those people, of all of the people, are going to know if it's wrong.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
That
I wonder how many angry letters they got, you know?
Probably just mine, I'm sure.
Probably because you were
actually bought it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're the sole purchaser of this map. They only even made one copy, and they're like, "We'll just wait it out and see what happens."
Oh crap! Someone's ordering it. Well, I guess we'll
noticed.
Can we hope it's a homeschool parent just putting something up on the wall for their kid?
I was gonna put it in my office.
I know that's really. And you never got a replacement?
No, because I couldn't find another one I liked. Because all the other ones look like new. I wanted one that looked like it was like old and like, you know. But this anyway.
Well, old maps are often wrong, so you know, you could have looked at it that way.
Oh, but then how would I explain that to people?
Yeah,
I'd have to anytime someone looked
all
at
those
it,
people.
And I want you to be aware that I actually know that I'm smart enough to know this map is wrong, but I liked its aesthetic. Okay.
I'd have to put like a little disclaimer next to it, like in an art gallery that has like the explanation. I'm like, just so you know, this map is incorrect if you're looking at it. But I couldn't find another one that I liked, and I already made the frame, so we're just gonna go with it.
It's like our other
not go with that as an option.
Yeah, our friend
Emily. I would be not surprised to find in your office.
Yeah, our friend Emily has like this. She's really good at geography, and so she does this like with globes, and so she can look at a globe and tell you what year it's from based on the countries that are on it. So she'll be like, oh, well, this is clearly before the partition of this, and this is, you know.
And we're like, yeah, totes.
Okay, this whole thing makes me think of, there's an episode of The West Wing.
Oh, there it is!
We've totally talked about this before. Did you the map one with the map?
Remember, because with the wolf highway?
Yeah.
Right. Bluey the Wolf.
We're going to talk about this really quick. So
yes, that's good because I forgot to put it on the list.
We're going to segue into it.
Yeah.
So,
West Wing, by the way, is absolutely one of my fandoms.
All right.
Definitely.
Super. So it just came out this, hold on. Got a little flummy there. It just came out this week that Bradley Whitford has been cast to play Jake Peralta's father on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Which I was still, because I saw it and I was like, Josh freaking Lyman is going to be on my favorite TV show. And I like lost my mind.
Yep.
Realized nobody cares because Corey doesn't watch West Wing. So I was like, oh, who do I tell?
That's a shame, Corey.
I know. And Lauren, you should watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
Well,
because I don't.
Yeah.
I remember one of the things, we were like in high school or junior high, and Lauren was like, oh gosh, Bradley Whitford, he's just like going on and on. I'm like, who the...
Wait, Bradley Whitford is so what?
Do you remember when Facebook had the like the original groups that you were in that didn't really do anything, but it was like, you know, there were silly things, like one was like, I'll go out of my way to step on a particularly crunchy leaf.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, there was one that was Josh Lyman is my boyfriend, our TV boyfriend, and I was very much...
So you had a crush on like Bradley Whitford?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so weird.
Like,
right?
I get Bradley Whitford in general, but...
At some point during that duration, I had a crush on every male character, including the super old ones, because they were just so smart, okay? So, like...
And I made fun of her relentlessly. I'm like, that is the weirdest thing. Like, okay, Rob Lowe, I'll give you Rob Lowe. Obviously.
Yeah.
But
I moved on to Rob Lowe later on when I realized I didn't like clever jerk faces. Like that stage of my life was over, and then I began to
find a new one.
Gravitate
was
towards
Josh Charles on that?
Yes. Yeah, Josh Charles shows up in almost everything.
Josh Charles forever.
That Aaron Sorkin does.
he's kind of like J.J. Abrams' Greg Grunberg.
Yeah, exactly.
Aaron Sorkin is brilliant, and I love him, and I'll watch everything he's ever done, but he is a one-trick pony.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
He redoes characters, plot lines, you know, backstories, same actual lines from shows.
I saw that supercut. Yeah,
like they tell, like they're in a crowd and they tell a joke that they think is just hilarious, but nobody responds to it, so he waits a little while and he repeats it, so he gets a better response.
You're like, guess what? Still not funny. Just in case you're wondering.
That's great.
They always are. Well, I think Aaron Sorkin's brilliant. Like, I would like it if he narrated my life story, but although I think I would probably be a lot skinnier because I'd walk and talk a lot more.
I know, right? Seriously, that his scripts are a good weight loss program.
Well, people still use that, right? Don't people, like, I remember reading a story about staffers in the White House, and I think it was Obama's White House, and they were walking and talking, and they looked at him like, hey, they're like, we're West Winging or something, and they're like, high five, or it was something to that effect. I remember hearing a story, I'm like, that is amazing, because they don't really, because people are always like, we don't do that.
Yeah,
we don't actually do that, but when they do it, they're like, hey, look, we're West Winging it.
We're West Winging it. I like the idea of that being a verb.
Yeah. I like making things that aren't verbs into verbs.
Yeah, verbing, if you will.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
To make a verb into not verb.
But anyway, so I knew Lauren would be excited, mainly just because she likes Bradley Whitford, which is weird.
I've watched really bad things because Bradley Whitford's in them.
He's one of those people who's usually
killed by a mermaid thing. Like,
wait, you mean
called
Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah. What do you mean really bad? That's an amazing movie.
That's one of Corey's favorites.
Yeah. And it's a merman.
Actually, the only scene that I watched was the one where she gets,
ganked.
Eaten.
Yeah, maybe it was a mermaid. He just really wants to see a mermaid. And actually, this is
really
literally the end of the movie we have just spoiled here, but,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I feel like it's one of those it's not like it just came out.
No, this is true.
If you haven't seen it by now.
Yeah, it's like people complaining about people spoiling the end of The Hobbit for them. It's like, this book is really old.
Yeah. No, and the only thing, it's not like this is like the dramatic conclusion of the movie so much as it's a really funny irony in the movie.
Yeah, I didn't catch that funny irony, but I was... it was posted on my Facebook because I was talking about mermaids, or no, maybe I was talking about Bradley Whitford. I'm not sure. It really could be either one on my Facebook page.
It was a mythical creature of Bradley Whitford.
Someone posted the clip, and I watched, and it was like, now my life is ruined because I just watched Bradley Whitford get eaten by a mermaid in a really like horrifying like 1985. This is. Slasher film bad.
Oh yeah, it is
bad
perfection. Oh man, you should watch that movie. It's Joss Whedon. Why would you not want to watch it?
Is it Joss Whedon?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like I failed. I even saw the Avengers. I'm not a person who watches superhero movies, and I saw the Avengers. What just happened?
Best response ever. Not a person who watches superhero movies. Kristin's brain implodes.
I don't understand. Here's the thing, you guys. I know people who say that. But you watch, like, sci-fi movies. I know you're you know what I mean?
I watch the X-Files because of the illustrious David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god. Yep.
I know, and that's great too. But I mean, people people watch sci-fi things and they think superhero movies are just like so ridiculous. And I'm like,
I don't think they're ridiculous.
They're great action. You don't have to read
because they're action films. I'm not an action person. I like the deep thought. I like.
You're talking to two huge action people.
Yeah.
Sherlock is as action as I get.
You're talking to someone whose favorite movie is Die Hard. Yeah. So clearly I'm not going to be able to...
That's not... Okay, let's be clear. That's not just your favorite movie. That's your favorite Christmas movie.
Well, it's my favorite movie, period. So
it's of all types of
movies. It's like It's a Wonderful Life.
Favorite Easter movie. It's my favorite 4th of July movie. It's my favorite, Columbus Day movie. All of those get encompassed within your favorite movie.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah. That's
but I really appreciated. I liked the Avengers quite a lot, and I watched because a boyfriend made me when I was in grad school. I watched Iron Man 1 and 2 and really enjoyed both of those.
See, there you go. Yep. We should probably you talked about Avengers. We'll skip down. We'll go back up.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do trailers.
There's a new Age of Ultron trailer that just came out, and I think if you guys remember, previously we talked about the first one and how the music in it was perfect, just absolute perfection. And so they have another one that's out, and it's shocking. Surprisingly, usually like the second trailer is always like 3 minutes long. It's always like really long. This one also not. That was only about a minute and 15 or a minute and a half, maybe
something like that.
So still pretty short, and it still but it done this great thing where it's just like there's no words for the music, but it's the same like ding, 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 like haunty.
Yeah, it's the There Are No Strings on Me song, but it's slowed down so it takes you a second to recognize it, and it's in the back.
Yeah, and it is just really, really good. And you get to see a Hulk and Iron Man fight going on, and you see the tension kind of starting to kind of bubble up in the team.
Now, is James Spader Ultron?
I don't know.
Because he sounds like James Spader. This was my one complaint in that trailer, was like when you first hear his voice, I was like, all I hear right now is Robert California from The Office. That might be a problem throughout the movie if that's the case. But,
I didn't... oh, yeah, he is Ultron.
Ah, there you go. I mean, I think, like, he's cool and he's creepy and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I don't watch Blacklist, but I've heard great things about it. And
I watched the first couple episodes the other day. It was pretty good.
Pretty good?
He's, very, like... I don't know, James Spader. I feel like every time I see him, I'm like... I kind of think most, like, you act like, yeah, you're not a criminal mastermind in real life, but I feel like you could be.
Right.
Because it seems like your personality to be a little bit, like, douchey, Right.
And in, like, a weird, like, he's just an unsettling human being.
Well, it's just, like, I don't know what it is about him. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm not sure what I feel about you. I don't know.
I was like, I thought he was super cute when I was a kid, because, like, Stargate was my reference for him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? His far off look. And now it's just, like, even then going back now and watching it, it's framed by, like,
We're
now
talking
James
the movie
Spader.
Stargate, right? Not the one with MacGyver?
The movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
No,
I
not
used to
the one
watch the
with
TV
MacGyver.
show with my dad.
I did as well.
Yep.
Whole family watched the SG one, which was great. But no, I meant the movie, which is what I was a little younger when that came out, but we watched that all the time too. But yeah, the trailer in general, I mean, it doesn't give us like a ton more than the other one did, but yeah.
I was worried to watch it because I'm like, I don't want to know more. I want to be in the dark about it. I want to be surprised.
Yeah, we get to see a little more action and adventure and people shooting stuff out of their hands. And
got to see little Elizabeth Olsen being like, whatever, bitch. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Forgot.
And in this, is it what's his face? The guy I can't stand, and he's from Kick-Ass.
He's from Kick-Ass?
What's the kid from Kick-Ass?
McLovin?
Huh? No.
Lovin?
No. And he was in Godzilla?
Oh, the guy that plays Elizabeth Olsen's husband in Godzilla and Quicksilver in this. Yeah,
so, like, that's kind of a weird thing.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I appreciate your guys' service to your country by watching bad movies.
Thank you.
We do what we can for the Fancave. Yeah.
You're welcome, Fancave.
I suffered through Godzilla for the Fancave. No, I can't stand him. He's the worst. And so, but it's weird that they're like married in that and now siblings in this. I just hope he doesn't ruin it because Elizabeth Olsen is actually pretty great.
He can't be that bad. I mean, he can't be like Lucas Black bad.
Oh,
No, I refuse. Don't tell me because I don't want to be tainted by you.
Well, he doesn't have like a Alabama accent or whatever, so that probably gives him a little bit of a leg up. I think like Lucas Black would just be like regular bad if he didn't have that dopey accent on top of it. Not that there's anything wrong with people from Alabama.
We love Alabama.
Just Luke, and I don't know if that's where he's from, but you know, just that the way he talks is dopey. It's dopey, is what it is.
You know what? My boss was in Uganda recently, and where they were living, it was like a pretty international community, and the people he was hanging out with, and he was talking with these other people that weren't from Uganda, and they were chatting about something, and finally they had asked him, like, oh, where are you from? You know, and he's like, I'm from America. And they're like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, first of all, he's like 6'7", blonde, blue. I mean, I guess he could kind of maybe be from like a Scandinavian country.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But he's like born and bred Californian, so it's like very just like laid back. I mean, I'm like, he seems to me very I don't know, whatever. Anyway, they're like, oh, because they associate American accents with either being from the South,
right,
or being from the East Coast. So if you don't have one of those two accents, like, they're kind of like, so where are you from? And they're like,
it's one of my favorite things listening to. I listen to a lot of audiobooks when I drive, and there's a series that I love that's shocking. It's based on Sherlock Holmes. I know that's like a big surprise. That's unheard of. But it's Sherlock Holmes after he's retired, and he's paired up with this young woman named Mary Russell, and they go and solve mysteries, and it's really, really, really well done. Actually, Mary Russell's really more of the main character, and she is amazing. But every time there's an American character in the thing, even though the audiobook reader is really, really quite talented, every single American sounds exactly the same, and they all sound like they're from Tennessee. Every single one. Even if they're supposed to be from San Francisco, California, they're from Tennessee.
Yep, that sounds about right. It's like how Carrie Elwes, every American
when
is
people
like
actually
that.
take on another accent, like Martin Freeman in Fargo.
Oh my gosh.
Doing a Minnesota accent, or
North Dakota,
Midwest,
Midwest, somewhere.
Like,
I'm not good with geography.
Fargo, North Dakota. It's like an actual place. They didn't like make it up out of nowhere.
It's okay. Lauren doesn't even know where the Mississippi River is, so you can't blame her.
Shut up! That was one time.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and when he was on SNL, he did multiple different American accents within that one episode, and I was super impressed by that.
Which, I did watch that, having not seen SNL since, I think I was probably 18 or 16, like even younger. Like at some point I just stopped watching it, and I watched it for it, and I still thought it was mostly awkward. You know, I did not. The only parts that I enjoyed were Martin Freeman because he's so freaking amazing.
Yeah, he was pretty great.
But
yeah. So anyway, Ultron. That happened.
Looks great. Other trailer that came out was the Big Game trailer, which puts Samuel L. Jackson as the president of the United States, and Air Force One is under some kind of attack, so they put him in that pod, you know. So if you've ever seen actually Air Force One, which I think is a delightful movie, by the way.
It's a great movie.
There's like an escape pod that the president's supposed to get into. So this time Samuel L. Jackson actually gets into it, gets in the pod and gets ejected. And I'm not entirely sure where he's supposed to be. No. And so there's a young boy who's kind of been put out. He's like, they've like sent him out to like kill a big animal so he can like become a man. It's like his rite of passage. So he's from some kind of community tribe somewhere. And he kind of finds the president, and he's like, oh, are you from outer space? I mean, he's, like, never seen anything like this. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? I'm from America, you know?
Like you're Samuel L. Jackson. What are you talking about? I'm from America. I'm Samuel L. Jackson, President of the United States.
I was trying to do my Alabama accent. I don't know how it sounds.
No, not so much.
It's Lucas Black does Samuel L. Jackson.
An entire state. Well done.
Gosh. Well, sorry. Anyway. He goes, and so then it's like these terrorists are trying to find the president, but this like 10-year-old boy is keeping him safe, and he's kind of hunting with him. And the guy's like Katniss. He's got like a bow and arrow, and you're like, all right, it's cool. So it actually kind of looks good.
I know, it looks amazing. It's kind of like, it's got this magical quality to it, and the cinematography looks great, and
what was that?
What
cat?
Oh,
cat.
like, Is she censoring something over there? What's going on?
That was my cat saying that I'm not giving her enough attention. Sorry, I really apologize for that.
That's
She
okay.
might make another appearance because she's currently trying to push over my desktop.
My dog does that all the time too.
Catherine jerks, by the way.
That's accurate.
That's true.
Yes. But yeah, it does. It seems super magical and fun and like. I mean, I don't know who there's my dog now, who the target audience is for this, so I'm not sure if it's going to be, like, sort of aimed for everyone, a family movie, or if it's, going to be rated R or what, but...
Or just going to be seen by people like the two of you.
Well, I mean, that's a given.
That's probably possible. But I feel like even in, like, the short time, like, Samuel L. Jackson, this kid, like, had this kind of... I, like, believed him. Like, oh, yeah, he would totally... Like, this kid... I mean, this could happen.
Right, yep.
I mean, it's almost like a telenovela, but I'm like, this could totally be... Maybe this has now ruined me for all things. I'm like, oh, telenovelas totally could happen, so this is definitely going to be...
Basically real life, when you get down to the nitty-gritty.
I feel like we need now to work on your level of skepticism, Kristin. Because I think that...
No, I've been so cynical for so long. Let me be a believer.
Yeah. This is what... Yeah, I mean...
There are better things to believe in than Samuel Jackson's and...
No, absolutely not. Are you kidding?
This is how we do... This is where the enthusiasm comes from, is a complete suspension of disbelief for most
of every
things.
aspect of reality.
There are few things we won't buy, as Avery said last week, there are few things we won't buy for $1. That's for sure. We are completely 110% in most of the time.
It's $1? I have $1. Okay.
I happen to have one. I shall take it. That's a
great way to live.
Yeah, that should be our slogan.
Never stop being enthusiastic about the wonders of bad movies. And
yeah, it'll be electric Fancave. We'll buy that
speaking
for $1.
of bad things, or not even bad. I don't even know what to think about this still. I've been processing it for about a week.
Yeah.
Sia, if you guys remember Sia, she has that song Chandelier. Mm-hmm. And she had this young girl who's on Mom's Dance Club or something, or Dance Moms, or she's on a reality show where she dances.
She's a really good dancer.
Yeah, super, she's like a pretzel. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
They had her in this, like, flesh-colored bodysuit, and she did this crazy dance, and it was amazing. Everyone loved it. I mean, spoof upon spoof was done about it. I think
even SNL did it.
Too Large did a spoof, and you were like, okay, this is getting awkward. But, so now she's back, and she's got a song called Elastic Heart, and she now is pitted the young girl in the bodysuit against Shia LaBeouf, who's wearing a similar, just kind of like underwear that's also flesh colored, but they're all dirty, and they're in like a giant bird cage, and they're like dance fighting or something.
Yeah.
I don't.
This was okay when I
and
first.
It's incredibly predatory.
See, I didn't see it that way at all.
Like, I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I should not have watched it at work like that, or ever. Actually,
I can see that being a thing.
Should not have been watched.
Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was like, "What is happening here? I don't understand what's going on." And then the second time I watched it, I totally cried. I was like, this is so beautiful and amazing, and like the one thing I don't see in it is anything sexual at all. Like I didn't see that either. I don't get that. For me, it's just more. But it did for a lot of people. It came across. They were like, this is like a weird pedophilia thing. I don't like it. And there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of touch and things like that between Shia and this girl. But the way Sia puts it as like it's a battle between like two Sias, like between two stages of her life. And that, Shia representing this sort of older, trying to be wiser one, and the young girl representing this, all of her past mistakes and things like that, and how they're constantly warring with each other and holding each other back.
The concept could have been really great, but as soon as you introduce an adult male in there, it becomes something that, what was it, that it changes the power dynamics. Mm-hmm. Inherently, because it's a young girl and a grown man. Mm-hmm. And so it's not that the point stops being what it intended to be, but rather it gets muddled.
Yeah, I don't know. I see that. I can see how that's a thing. For me, it didn't necessarily, and that was one of the things, I think I've always appreciated Shia as an actor when he's not being like a total tool. Like Transformers Shia, no, that's not like Shia the great actor or whatever, but there's something in this, and I think it's a sense also of like where we feel like his mental state is in real life, for one thing, a sort of instability about him, and that he always is able to portray vulnerability better than I think a lot of actors can, you know. And you see, not only is he sort of wrecked and ruined in this, and he's, you know, bandaged and dirty and all that kind of stuff, but there's something about the way that he interacts with the little girl that to me feels like weakness and feels like, I don't know, it didn't seem to me that the power dynamic was off. You know, it felt to me like I could see these two sort of equal warring states between these two people. I don't know. For me, it didn't have that effect. I can totally understand why it would, but I think Shia did a great job with it, and the little girl was amazing, and I just really like it now that I've watched it a few times.
Yeah.
Well, and maybe that I couldn't even get all the way through it.
And you know what, Lauren, if you actually make it to the end, because there was a point too when I was like, oh, I don't know, so should I be creeped out by this? Like, I wasn't, but I'm like, I feel like I should be. And so it's getting to, I'm like, I'm not really sure. Like, I was in that same boat. I'm like, you're right, because like the instant you see him, you're like, also they almost look Nate. You know what I mean? Just like that, just because of where we are. But at the end of the video, the girl gets to the outside of the cage, and Shia like can't make it outside essentially, and she's trying to pull him out. And so it is this idea of like he's starting to kind of give up and be like, I can't. Like he's like starting to sit down. You see him kind of giving up, and she's like, no, like you can do this. Like she like just, I mean, not even like in a nice way. She's like grabbing at him, like no, like yanking, like trying to get him to like. To come out. And so for me it was where it got, so there was a point where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, but then at the end when she's the one trying to like save him almost, I thought that was really interesting, and the way it ended I was like, oh, okay, so cause I just saw the dynamic changes in that instant where it's like she's the one that's like, look, I could easily leave you stuck in this cage, I'm trying to also help you along, you know. So that was interesting, and so I guess the whole thing to me it was just very it was interesting.
Yeah, it causes you so many conflicting feelings because
so
your
many
initial
emotions
thing is just like, why is this a thing? You know, and then
to be fair, that is what good art does.
Right.
True, and it
does push limits. And I'm still hesitant about how it's and part of it is I work in a culture that is very like I have to think about the dynamics of stuff at play all the time. And I work in a field that has had unfortunate history with power dynamics, especially between age and regardless of gender. But and so I think I had a hard time pushing through all the alarms that set off in my head.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's probably a good thing to a certain extent. I think those alarms should go off.
Good art too. Also, it and I think maybe if I had watched it all the way to the end, I would have a different feeling about it. Because good art should set off some alarms for you, but it should also like bring it back to a place where you're not left alarmed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and I do honestly think the end does, because you're right. There is a point like in the beginning and middle where you're like, what's happening? Right. I mean, and the fact that I knew it was like a music video, I'm like, I'm trusting this person obviously not to have done something very creepy with this young girl. And as crazy as Shia LaBeouf can be, I was also actually trusted him not to be, you know, so I had that amount of faith in it to a certain extent, even though it was kind of starting to push me towards the point of feeling extremely uncomfortable.
Right.
That allowed me to get to the end of it when I think it did kind of have this redeeming portion for the part that you're talking about, Lauren.
And I think too, like, that's why the second time I watched it, it was when it like actually moved me, because then I could actually appreciate what was happening from the beginning of the video, as opposed to it being like, I spent 3/4 of this video like, what? Before getting to a point where I was like,
not okay, bad touch, not okay.
And then the second time I watched it, knowing sort of where it was going, then it was like the whole thing could actually be, you know.
And what's interesting too is I wonder how many people are going to actually watch the whole of the video. One, because the video itself is kind of a turnoff for most of it. It's a bad turn of phrase. Sorry.
But Fancave does not endorse that statement.
I mean, in the literal sense of that you're going to turn it off because
sorry,
I don't think things through sometimes.
You have no idea the things that I've said, Lauren, on the show, so don't even feel that about it.
But But also in the fact that we live in a culture that just reads the headlines and makes an opinion on the source, having the headline. When I was looking this up, I came across some of the articles written about it, and they have stills from the video, which the stills are very creepy. Like they're like you like they're incredibly
take any of that out of context. Ugh.
Yeah, and it's and so I wonder, and this is one of the risks that happens too when you do try to be edgy, and it's somewhat unexpectedly, and you don't necessarily have the currency for that edginess. Is that the point gets lost in the midst of people's responses? And
so I think a huge thing on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a response, and so few people are examining the text for themselves and coming to their own conclusion. There's so many think pieces written about every single thing, and it's,
that's what I really, and I'm gonna plug it right now. Corey and I have a friend named Seth who was they're starting this new website called Timeline, and that's actually what I appreciated about it, because it gives you very basic and not even a whole ton of information, but it backdrops a lot of current, and some of them are just random things, but some are like very current events. So if you're unsure as to what's going on in Iran, you're like, what is the big deal with this place? What's happening in Syria? People are fighting. And you're like, you go to this website and they have like kind of mapped out in a timeline form.
That's cool.
Hey, starting in, sometimes these go back. Like we're talking like hundreds of years back. Like starting in in 1604, like so-and-so. And it'll just give you short blurbs. But then there's links in there that then take you to like actual news stories about like,
oh, that's awesome.
Hey, this is happening.
It's so cool.
It's pretty much my favorite thing right now. I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's like my dream come true. It's like a news.
I can't imagine why that.
It's like a news articles based on history, right? Like, are you kidding? And it gives you, and it's so great because it's very concise. So at least you get like an idea of like, okay, this is what's happening, and then it gives you resources to continue doing more research yourself, so that you can, hey, actually I did find this interesting and I do want to know more about this. Great, here's stuff to help you do that. Or let's say you read it, you're like, well, now I kind of know what's going on, but I don't want to really go any farther. Okay, you don't have to,
Yeah.
But at least it gives you just kind of a bigger, more well-rounded picture of it, which I think is what we kind of want today. People don't want like a 7-page article on the history of Syria. People are like, I don't have time to read that. It's too complex. Gosh, freaking cat.
I can't even stop her. She does it so quickly. She's like a cat ninja.
I know, she is.
I don't hear her at all, and then all of a sudden she's over my lap.
And then she's gone. So she's like, all right.
She's gone.
So I think it's really great for people just to kind of, hey, it's really short, quick, figure, like this is what you need to know, and then go. And hopefully, I think, at least for me, it encourages me to want to learn more. And I think I would hope for a lot of people, encourage them to like do research on their own and, try and be more critical thinkers. Some people that's not going to be the case, but anyway, I'm
all for educating the masses.
Yeah.
And if it takes infographics, then that's the case.
Absolutely.
So I'm a huge fan. Like, I want to teach theology through infographics. Like,
I'm for that. I'm definitely for that. Yeah. All things should be able to be made into infographic form.
Yeah, definitely.
Should we visit our Chris Pratt corner?
Yeah!
And if you're watching the video portion, you got to see the amazing graphic that we have for the Chris Pratt corner now, and we're pretty proud of it. So thank you to Keo Edmondson for that awesome graphic. It's
pretty amazing.
It's so cool.
You guys, Chris Pratt, he was a gem this week. He did lots of gem type things.
He was all over.
He was all over. So his wife, and I wish, like, I don't have TV, I think we've established, so I don't watch any live TV. But I kind of did want to see People's Choice Awards. I'm like, dude, Anna Faris is hosting it with Allison Janney, so I'm like, this would be amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of West Wing.
Right, speaking of West Wing, another West Winger making a comeback here. Or not comeback, she's always been around.
She's always around. Everybody loves Jane.
Amazing.
Anyway, so they were hosting, and so they had this little bit that they did that was pretty brilliant. And it looks like Anna and Chris are at home together, and he's like, being all like, well, I'm very popular now, so I don't really have time to like help you with your
stuff.
And
I love that he's the straight man in this. Like, he is totally serious in the entire... He does not deliver the punchlines.
And remember, we talked about him and... Was it Channing Tatum?
Yeah. And we were like, who would be the straight man in their movie?
He could totally do it. Like, he could totally do it. So... It was so fun to watch, and just watching them play off each other. They're so funny together, really funny together. And actually, they were. There's this movie called What's Your Number it's Chris Evans and Anna Faris. See that. But Chris Pratt is in it too for a little bit. He plays one of her like ex-boyfriends, and it's amazing because he also plays the straight man in it. It's to her like kind of crazy shenanigans. Yeah. But they play off each other so well, and he was just being so adorable, and she's hilarious. And Allison Janney then came in and was great, and yeah, it was really good. But we'll link to that video on the blog.
We have so much for you in this Chris Pratt corner.
It's fully worth watching because I mean it's very funny on its own, and then holy crap.
Short-circuited.
I did! Allison Janney! I'm like, why am I not... Like, all these, like, this like, rapid-fire list name of celebrity names went through my head. And
just I'm a big IMDb list scrolling.
And I'm like, you love her, you want to be her. Oh, right, Allison Janney. Because she's so great. Like, I knew Allison Janney first from The West Wing, where she plays a very funny, but at the same time, a very serious, very passionate... member of the cast, and then seeing her in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Where she's just like, and then Juno, and all of these things where she just plays this fantastically bitter, brittle, you know.
She does a good job with the dysfunctional woman kind of
She really does, and I think she's got it nailed.
I've been marathoning Top Chef this week, and so it's like bringing in a little bit of lemon juice into a dish, and it like brightens it up. Sorry, that's...
That was super
It's just but I'm not kidding. I have watched 4 seasons of Top Chef in 4 days.
Woo! So, I had string cheese for dinner, so that is completely lost.
Not the target audience.
Yeah, not so much.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
If you're culinary at all, Allison Janney is the lemon juice to your steak tartare.
All right. I like it. Even though I don't fully understand it, I like it as a metaphor.
We're going to go with it.
Do some steak tartare. That might be disgusting. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Steak tartare.
Yeah.
I think it's raw
She is
steak,
amazing.
Right?
Everything, like if I'm really into something at the time, like that's all I talk about, and it becomes like where my references are moving around. So right now my references are moving around food. Sorry. I'm also really
love
hungry.
food.
I'm surprised you can't hear my stomach growling.
I was about to say, I bet when this is like, when I listen to this back, you're going to hear my stomach growling because it's pretty close to the mic. It keeps growling right now. I'm like, yay! So sorry about that, everybody. Right. Another Chris Pratt thing, though, is that, and Anna Faris, both presented an award at the Golden Globes as well. And were busily being adorable and, you know, playing off each other there. And it was sort of a Parks and Rec versus moms. Mom. I would say moms. It's just mom, huh? Just one mom. Mm-hmm. A battle between the two of them, I guess. Good. I'm like, what? I just want them to be in everything. Like, after, now Parks and Rec's ending, let's just bring him over to mom. And, you know, make that work.
He could
that
be
just
the
made Kristen's world right there.
Just like, you never thought about it.
Because also, you know what I'm thinking is that he could be like the oh my gosh, Emily Loves Them.
Emily Loves Them.
He's from SVU. Oh, Dean Winters' character in 30 Rock.
Yes, dummy.
Yes.
Yeah, Duffy.
He could be like the reoccurring boyfriend that keeps coming back, and you're like, get the F out of here, but we love you so much, so keep coming back.
That would be incredible. Oh, man. Can you imagine? And then people would start watching that show.
Oh.
I mean, I think
I hadn't even heard of that show.
Actually, you know, I haven't either. It's on, I think it's CBS, and that one's not on Hulu. If it's not on Hulu, I don't get
That's the thing, is it's on CBS.
I don't actually have cable.
Yeah. So that's why I think. But if it was, I kind of would watch it because I think I was at my parents' house over Christmas or something, and I caught a little bit of it, and it's funny. Actually, it's really funny. It's pretty really funny because I mean I love Anna Faris. I mean I'm not gonna lie to you guys. House Bunny is still I think one of the most classic.
That's another one of those ones I ignored because I was like, oh, House Bunny, I don't know, and then everyone loves it, so I'm like, I should really.
I mean, And it's one of those ones, too, where a lot of the students I work with have seen it, and so it's really great. And I'm like, oh, how's funny? And they're like, I love that movie. And we'll go like, hey, Melissa, because she does this gag with her. Anyway, to watch it. It's not funny when I explain.
I think that movie is much older than it is. But, I mean, Emma Stone's in it, right?
Yeah, Emma Stone is in it. One of Bruce Willis's kids, Scout. Or
probably Rumor, right? No, not Rumor. Yeah, Rumor. She's the one who's everywhere.
Yeah, so she's in it. Anyway, it's delightful. So, but anyway, you should watch it.
Yeah, and then also he was on Ellen.
Oh my god, that one made me
so
cry.
charming. Oh,
talking about
when he's talking about the story about the vacation. When they're on vacation and he's like, I almost started crying. He's talking to anytime he talks about his son, I about tear up because
like speaking of just actors and their deep, deep love of their kids.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and the greatest thing is the story itself. Like, it's cute and everything, but it's not nearly as deep as he thinks it is.
Yeah.
Which makes it that much better.
But also, for me, because he's been so open about the difficulties his son has had. Mm-hmm. So if you guys don't know, his son was born really prematurely, and he was really sick, and they were like, he's going to have all these developmental delays and all these issues. And so I feel like for him,
it's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And I think for any kid who had, troubles, right out of the womb, that sounds like dismissive, but you know what I mean? Just straight out of the gate, is even worse. Making it worse as I go along. From the beginning of their life, they've had health issues. It's a big deal. And the way he talks about him is always just so, he's just so like in awe of this kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I think is it's just beautiful and it's so wonderful. And they always show that one picture of him, Anna, and Jack, and they're all wearing the Seahawks jerseys, and it's like the cutest picture. I'm like, please make this just your Christmas card forever. Because I love it. I love everything. It's like just amazing. So
yeah, it's
pretty good.
It's just fun to watch someone, because I think it's there is so much to the relationship he has with his son and things like that, and it's just great that he's such like a glowing, happy dad and everything. So it is this like the smallest story about his son like is just so powerful and incredible to him.
Yeah. Totally.
That you feel it even though it's not like the most exciting story in the world.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
You're still like, you're right, your son is a genius and he's a philosopher and it's amazing. And then we did get the standard ridiculous Chris Pratt as well.
We did.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I showed up on Jimmy Kimmel without actually supposing to be on Jimmy Kimmel, allegedly, right?
Allegedly, right. It's obviously a sketch, Yeah,
but in the story, he's like, we have some really great stories.
So basically, he shows up at Jimmy Kimmel. This is the conceit of this. He shows up at Kimmel, and he's not supposed to be there. And Kimmel's like, no, it's not your day. And he's like, well, I got an Evite. And he's like, well, that's not how we, invite people to the show. We call your publicist. And then Chris Pratt is like, well, let's just, bang one out right here. Let's do a show. And
poor choice of words.
That was a great moment.
But that was a quote, so I will.
It was a quote. And then there's a great moment of sexual tension between the two of them as well. That's pretty great. We won't spoil it for you, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And so they do this interview on the spot. They bring in like the band and Guillermo, who's in his underwear, and
So do you want to put some clothes? He's like, no, I'm good. Like, of course you are, Guillermo.
Oh my gosh,
it's so adorable.
It's fantastic.
It's pretty great. Yeah, it's pretty good. And he's like gonna tell. Yeah, we'll link to that one too. Like you said, we don't want to ruin it. We could explain the whole thing too, but that would defeat the purpose. So watch it.
It's definitely worth watching.
It's
awkward. It's really awkward.
It's so awkward. It's so good at the same time.
It's just exactly what you want to see of Chris Pratt.
It is.
However, it made me feel better about my life because Jimmy Kimmel's desk is crazy messy. So is mine, and I'm like, I feel better.
and we know anyone.
And I don't have Chris Pratt showing up and Guillermo walking around in his underwear in my office.
Is that a negative or a positive? I'm not sure.
The whole thing left me feeling like a winner.
I don't know. The lack of Chris Pratt in my office is problematic, or Guillermo for that matter. I would love to work with just Guillermo sitting next to me.
I just want to do the mirror interview with him like he did for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's still one of my favorite bits that he's ever done.
Exactly.
So good.
So that's our Chris Pratt corner today, and it was chock full of Chris Pratt. Woo!
Heyo.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So you want to talk about another charming human being, Corey?
Yeah. We have Ian McKellen, and you all know how much we love Ian McKellen.
I adore Ian McKellen.
Yeah, he's just a wonderful human being. We love everything he does, everything Patrick Stewart does, everything they do jointly. This one is just Ian McKellen, and he
No, I think Stewart was off stage.
Well,
him.
I assume he always is. Yeah. He was behind the camera, whatever the case may be. Ian McKellen was in this music video for this British singer, in which the idea behind this is that the guy is trying to like make a music video and sing his song, but Ian McKellen keeps upstaging him with his dancing and singing along.
I guess that's what's happened when you invite him to be in your music video.
And at one point, like, they just full on stop the music video so that the singer can be like, "Hey, Ian, you know, what are you doing? This is kind of my thing, and you're ruining it." And he's
and
like,
they're bringing you drinks, and they didn't even bring me a drink.
Yeah.
Like, you had a symbol at one point? Like, what was going on there? It's so great. And Ian's just like, "But I just love being here." And he's like looking at the camera like, "I just love your music. Yeah. So great." Like,
it's
look at me.
so cute.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how they got him to do this. Like, I don't know whose kid this singer must be or something.
That was my question.
Yeah, I had no idea who he was.
Yeah. I mean, I looked up some of his videos afterwards just to be like, is this actually like a person or what? And so he does, like, I guess he's popular-ish in Britain or something like that. He has a weird voice for his face.
Yeah, he does.
He does. He really does.
It's very confusing. It's like... Oh man, I actually
felt more comfortable when Ian McKellen was lip syncing.
Yeah,
right. It made more sense.
Well, actually, because the video opened up with Ian McKellen actually doing the lip sync first, right? So I thought he was singing. I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then the other guy, I'm like, no, wait, this is the same. Wait, what's going on?
Why is that child singing like that?
Yeah, he's like 12. His voice haven't even dropped that. There's no way to have it.
Yeah, which is really why I went and looked at other videos, because I was like, does he look older usually, or does his voice sound less like that usually? I was like, no, this is across the board. All right. What this guy is like.
He's taking Benedict Cumberbatch lessons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah,
that was an appropriate moment to take right there.
I know. I had to take that. Think about it. Really let it soak in. Yeah, this video is so adorable and really worthwhile. If you're having a bad day or something, and you just need to know there's something good and sweet in the world,
this is it.
Remember Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen. Go to our blog and click that link. And all the Chris Pratt links, for that matter. And you are just going to be the happiest camper on the planet. It's very difficult not to smile with all of this good stuff going around. Oh, So I'm standing next to it, like, the window in my office is actually like a door. And I have curtains over it, but when the sun shines in, obviously I can kind of see, like, shadows and stuff like that. And someone just, like, bent over right in front of my door. And I was like, ah! Scared the bejeebus out of me.
He's tying his shoes, Corey, aka picking the lock to come in.
I can't take it.
Corey, you're fine.
No, I'm just gonna keep glancing now. Oh god, this is terrifying. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. There's nobody doing anything nefarious outside my window. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for being here today, Lauren, and discussing all of these delightful treasures of the internet with us.
Yeah, I feel like we missed some big ones from the Golden Globes, but that's okay. We can get them another time.
Exactly.
We talked about the most important things. Talk about Chris Pratt.
We didn't talk about Cumberbatch photobombing.
That's true. Seeing him suddenly leap over that photo was pretty incredible.
That was pretty...
He's got mad hops.
He does. That guy can jump.
He's also... He can. Yeah. White British boys can jump.
Also, he uses his hands when he jumps, too. He's all in there.
He does. He's full on the whole face. He makes the exact same face every time he photobombs, though.
Yeah. Which is a great thing to have a reputation for.
And also, one more thing. Remember, he was very excited when they picked on him to do the first reward with Jennifer Aniston, who was like, okay, well, I thought I was doing this alone. But whatever.
That was a good bit.
I've never done this before. I'm so amazing. I'm like, oh my god.
He's like, are you really Jennifer Aniston? She's like, yes. Wow, that's cool.
That's a good way to offset the boringness of Jennifer Aniston as a person.
That's fair.
I'm sorry, but really.
I am the Cumberbatch correspondent, so I'm like, I'm
sorry we didn't let you throw that in. Thank you for bringing it back around. That's why we have you.
Should begin and end with Cumberbatch.
Mm-hmm.
As all things
Cumber
should.
Bookends.
Yes,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cumber bookends.
Mhm.
I approve.
Man, that name has unlimited possibilities. So thanks everybody for listening to the Electric Fan Cave, our 47th episode. Woo! We are getting on, and we're pretty excited. I think you'll be excited about our 50th episode guest, but we won't tell you just yet.
It's Jesus.
It is Jesus, the Son of God.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Make sure that you guys check out the Fancave Fiction Club on Goodreads. We're reading Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon right now, so you want to get in on that action. We're going to be meeting on January 30th, and then we'll pick a new book. So if you can't get to this one, do the next one. No big deal. And you're always welcome to watch and converse, even if you didn't read. So check it out and be a part of that. Then also listen to Kristin as the special guest on Matt Vest versus his friends, that podcast. It's a great conversation that they have, so be sure to check that out as well. You can find that on Facebook and on Hipcast and probably in all the places that Hipcast then broadcast it. iTunes, basically the same places that you can generally find us. And on that note as well, you should make sure that you subscribe to us on YouTube and Stitcher and iTunes and Facebook. Now we've got a Facebook page and Twitter and all that jazz. And make sure to talk to us. We just realized today that there's kind of a lot of people out there listening to this, but we don't know that many of you. There's like 10 of you who interact.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to tweet, so I might tweet at you.
Yeah, so there we go.
I've tweeted a lot
Welcome
lately.
to technology that existed 5 years ago.
I've tweeted a lot. I've tweeted like 3 times.
Yeah, it's
in like
so
the past
proud.
couple weeks.
It's getting
So
intense
proud.
here. So you guys, if you want to prompt Kristin to tweet more, you better talk to us, and it'll be great.
So just talk about Agent Carter, and I will tweet at you all day long.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we didn't even talk about Agent Carter.
We'll do that next week.
Next week, yeah, it's fine. So, for the Fan Cave, this fine day, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
And I'm Kristin Latterell.
And I'm Lauren Evans.
Peace out, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.
Get the party started on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, all right, well done.
That was better than the last time you attempted that song, and it was unrecognizable.
Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide, deep and wide.
I really wish that was going to make it into the... because that was special right there.